All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Ooh, that was the most good mornings in a while. You guys are notice a full audience and then these two empty chairs right in front of me. It's a little weird, but it's okay. So let's start off with some wants and needs. Who has some new wonderful listings that are helping us with this shortage of inventory? Tyson, would you pass that back to him? Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so we got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo right off Flamingo and the Range Free West condominiums. They're off Flamingo and I believe it's Durango.
Sounds good.
Or Buffalo, one of the two.
You don't like the location, you can pick it up and move it.
That's right.
And then we have a Lake Las Vegas listing, 1.67, just under 4,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms. That's on the market too.
Who's next?
Yeah, you're
Right.
always Roy.
Roy's got a list.
Well, I actually do have a list. Thank you. Oh, two, okay, this is one's plenty. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about the newest one that we have that's coming up on the market. It's right here in Summerlin, so it's Charleston and 215. It's a brand new build. It's about 1,900 square feet and it's on Ferry Glide, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area, but it's only listed for $758,000. So, an 888, you know, gotta have 888.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So we would love for you guys to come by and take a private tour. I also made a list of all the newer listings that we have, so I'm not gonna go through them all right now, but if you guys can just pick one up on your way out, and if you want to do open houses, or if you want to market them on your Facebook, this is a great opportunity for you guys to get a little bit more exposure and sell my properties, please.
Roy's back with a vengeance.
Did we miss anybody?
Oh, Janet.
Janet's selling Jerry's room if you'd like to. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a need, and my need is for all of you to wish John happy birthday. Happy birthday, John.
I like the way she did that. That was very covert.
And don't forget the vote.
Yeah. Anybody else? Buyer wants and needs anything at all? Going once, going twice. Sold all Roy's properties. There you go. All right, so we're going to welcome up Jason from Prosperity. Jason has some great info to share with us this morning.
Hey, Tom!
Thank you, Chris. All right, so I'm going to grab the PowerPoint that we have up here.
I know where I gotta go.
Cool.
You don't get back to it.
No excuses now, man.
So I'm going to address in my time period is that something I've been doing for videos on social media, some of you have been a part of it actually, is asking the right questions, basically. Is that right now I keep hearing real estate agents say that rates really aren't still that high and that it's still a wonderful investment. And while I'm not 100% disagreeing with you, I think that our technique needs to change a little bit. So I made a little presentation that hopefully will only take 5 minutes and go super fast. Okay, so what is public opinion right now, which is more important? Well, inflation has risen to 8.6%, which is the highest it's been since 1981. We have record gas prices, as I've heard everybody talk about in the lobby just recently. And just yesterday, Monday the 13th, we had one of the worst stock performances in the history of the stock market yesterday, if you saw that. Next one. We did right now. This graphic I couldn't make any better, I apologize, but I took a screenshot of CNN yesterday. 68% of CFOs surveyed say they believe we will be in a full recession in the first quarter of 2023. And that's what that graphic shows, yet you can't see it, unfortunately. Something like that.
Rolling, brother.
So with all of this bad news, how should we sell homes? First and foremost, I believe we need to change our sales pitch from what an amazing investment a home is. I'm not saying that's not true again, but public sentiment does not agree with us right now. I believe that we need to remind the general public why they're buying a home, and it's because it is your house. This is not your investment, this is your home. So why should you still buy a home? Let's paint a picture. What if you decide to rent and your rent is at about $1,800 a month and you're like, oh, that same house payment on the mortgage is going to be $2,300. This is a no-brainer. I'm going to stay at $1,800 a month. Well, what if 6 months into it, the landlord themselves or their representative, meaning you, knocks on their door and says, hey, guess what? The seller's decided to sell this home. You got to leave or you got to buy this thing. Well, if you're right, if inflation is going up like crazy, which again I agree with, and prices are going up and up, what does that make rent do? That makes rent go up and up and up. So when it's time for you to leave that house, if you can't afford to buy it, maybe you stay in the same school district, maybe you don't, I'm not sure if you have kids. But I can almost guarantee you one thing, your $1,800 a month for rent is not going to be the same. Now it might be $2,500, $2,600 a month rent for 6 months later, if things keep going the way that they're going. Another part of it here is that if you feel that rates are too high right now, that's fine. Right now the 10-year treasury is at $3.40, which is the highest it's been in God knows how long, basically. Rates are probably still going to continue to rise, but you can always refinance later on too. They're also predicted to come back down to the 4s or 5s in about a year or two when this blows over. So if you have a place, you can refinance it. So the conclusion, homes go up and down. Having a fixed payment, I think, is the argument that you need to make right now. If public sentiment is that everything is adjustable and everything is going up like crazy because of inflation, then what better time to have a fixed payment, regardless of rates are? In the history of housing, we always judge housing values based on the highest it's been. When we crashed in 2008 and 2009 and we went down, we didn't say everything was fixed until they reached the highs of 2007. In investments, they don't do stuff like that. If IBM starts at 400 and it goes down to 200, they're not usually expecting it to hit 400 anytime soon. But with housing, it always does. So the point of this is that, and also too, of course, that rent, you're paying an interest rate of 1,000%. Every single part of your payment is going up with rent over there. So the renters might be able to make their payments now, but what about the future? It's too short-sighted. You're only thinking about where housing is right now, where rates are at right now. If you own your home, you're going to have your fixed payments. So I think the sales pitch needs to be to remind people why they're buying a house. It's not because of what a great investment it's going to be and how much money they're going to make. It's because this is where you live. This is the neighborhood you want to be in. This is where you want your kids to go to school. This is where your kids have all of their friends. Make sure that your payment is fixed so that nothing's going to be pulled out of you rug-wise. Any questions on that? If you want to copy the presentation, let me know. Hopefully it's a simple message. And if you want to do some videos on it with social media, let us know too. We'd love to help.
Excellent job, brother.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. So today was going to be a legal update with David Sanders. So Dave is not feeling well, so he's not going to be here. So it's going to be a legal update with Chris. All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions from everybody. I know Brandon has, and all of our company leaders about the market and what's going to happen and what should I be concerned about. And so who here wants to have their business changed by the market every time it cycles? That's good, right? So the point is, I wanted to build a real estate business that was recession-proof. I wanted to build a real estate business that didn't care whether sales were up or prices were up or interest rates were up or they were down. I wanted to build a sales business that sold things continuously throughout those markets. Anyone else want to have that goal? Yeah, right? I love the interaction. This has been good so far. So let's talk about some positives right now in the marketplace. What's a huge positive going on right now? Say that again? Listings. Roy's got listings. That is a huge positive. You always want to have listings because that's important. But what about those listings is great right now?
Price is up.
Price is up, right? So for everyone that's been in the real estate market since 2005, 6, 7, or anywhere in there, your price has almost tripled from what it was during the recession. So anyone okay with selling $500,000 houses on average?
Yes.
Right? That feels really good. What else is positive in the market? Who do those houses go to?
Oh, I was going to say clients are listening more.
Okay. Stephanie's the only real estate agent whose clients actually listen to her. Congratulations. I made a joke with Lizette the other day. She says, well, my clients want to list their home. What should they price at? And I said, you should go ask the neighbor, right? So we should get ahead of the pricing now before it actually happens. That joke's funnier if you knew the whole story. But the whole point is, that's great that people are listening because if we have the proper information and we have the right trust with our clients, they will listen to us because we're their real estate professional. But what's good about buyers right now? There's homes to buy, and people have been waiting months, and they've been beat out by 10s of 20 offers on different properties, and they are doing every single thing they can to buy homes. Why? Other than Jason's point, you gotta have a place to put your crap. Prices are going up, that's a good point. Prices are still going up. The inventory's narrow, absolutely, but why are buyers coming here to buy? Because they want to get the hell out of wherever they're at. Right? They were quarantined for a year in the place that they didn't want to live, shoveling snow and dealing with weather and being moved out of their property, people are always coming to Las Vegas because we don't have those problems. We'll melt your stuff, but you'll enjoy it while you're here, right? That's the whole thing. So a lot of them will get a raise moving here because cost of living is still extremely low. Prices, even though Las Vegas could be one of those inflated markets, it's still a hell of a lot lower than pretty much every major metropolitan city that we surround. So here's the deal. Does any of that matter? I've been in real estate for almost 20 years, and in every single one of those years, around 30 to 40,000 homes per year sold in Southern Nevada. If you're in sales, selling real estate, does it matter whether the market's up or down?
No.
No, it actually doesn't. It's part of your spiel. It's part of the things that you tell your client. It's part of sales. But no matter what happens, every single year, homes are going to sell. Why do some agents get those homes and other agents don't? Have you guys ever seen that agent in the marketplace that has 500 transactions? That's just unfair. Have you ever seen an agent with 100 transactions? They've got a team of 38, but still 100 transactions, pretty nice. Why is there such an imbalance between certain groups of agents and the others? I love that she said it first, they're working. We all got into this because we love people and showing homes is fun, right? But if they work, 10 hours a day and they work it like any other job that they were in before, is it a very lucrative career? Yes, it is. Now, I know some of you are thinking 10 hours, what would I do for the other 9? Right? I get it, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, Tom's like, I'm gonna plan a vacation, right? What were you gonna say, Jason?
Oh, I was just gonna say it's how they're working versus
It's how they're working. I love that you said that. That's very important. Okay, so what's the key piece of real estate I got to start with? Why did you get into real estate? Why? Tell me. Someone throw me out of why.
Money, money.
You guys only got one thing on the mind: money. Right? Is money important?
Yes.
Does money buy happiness?
Yes.
It sure helps. Right? I don't know. I've never had a yacht, but I think I'd be happier on one. Right? But the whole point is, I did get into this business to make money. In what way?
A big way for yourself.
Okay, so someone said helping people, I do believe you. What was the other one?
A big way.
Working for yourself. Is it important to run a business that you're the one it relies on?
Yep.
I think so, because do we trust everybody?
No.
No, but we sometimes trust ourselves, right? But I wanted to create a business that I believed in. Entrepreneurial, I said it somewhere in there. Spirit. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Why else did I do this? Not one of you said family. All of those people at home. Why is real estate important for my family? Building a legacy. What do you mean by legacy? I mean, I understand real estate legacy, but what do you mean by that? Building generational wealth. Jason?
If you can build a book of business, you can hand it off to your children.
Oh, he's jumping ahead. He's jumping ahead. But Jason's point is, if I could build a great book of business, I could hand it off to my children. Did you hear that, Mom? If I could build a great book of business, I could hand it. That's absolutely true, because if I build a book of business that residually provides me with income, I could sell that to you. I could inherit that to you, right? I'm going to spend it all before they get here, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. Why else? Flex. Okay. This is actually the most dangerous thing about our career. You build your own schedule. Are you qualified to build your own schedule? That scares the hell out of me. When agents say, well, I'm going to put together a plan. You're underqualified. What should you have? Coach, help, support, brokers, the system, because you've never done this, right? If I was going to open a Subway, I've eaten a lot of sandwiches. Does that make me qualified to run a Subway? Why not? I mean, it's bread and mayonnaise, right? But I don't understand the ins and outs of how the business works, and so it makes a lot of sense for me to find a professional that's done it and copy everything they do. Do you know that's the #1 success system in sales? Find someone who's successful at sales and copy everything they do. It's idiot-proof, right? Because if that idiot can do it, I can do it. That's why these are not the jokes, these are true. These people are in the market, you see them. What else? Is there another why?
Freedom, traveling.
Freedom. If you've seen her Facebook page, you know there's freedom in traveling in real estate. I'm going to say better life. Real estate does afford me the opportunity to have a better life, but we all have a different idea of better. Let me ask you, do you know what the average income is in the United States right now? Anybody want to take a stab?
40,000. 42,000.
Someone said 47. It's actually 46.5 as of last year. $46,500 is the average income. That's staggering. Anyone want to do the math? Is that like $3,500 a month in income? If I sold one transaction, that would be 6 months worth of that person's income. You know what the average real estate agent does as amount of transactions? It's actually 3 to 4. 3 to 4 is about a $50,000 to $60,000 income. Now, I hear you guys all the time. How much work is in 3 to 4 transactions? 10 hours a day, full-time job, right? When you first start real estate, is it? Yeah, because you're trying to figure out what to do. But as you progress, and that guy's doing 500 or that lady's doing 500 transactions, it's no longer a full-time job, right? Okay, so you said money, which you started with, that's why I like you all. You said family somewhere in there because I pulled it out of you, and then you said flex. Here's mine. Absolutely no limit. Does anyone know of a real estate agent that makes $50 million a year? I do. It's not in this market, but it's in another market. I know someone that does it. Tell me one other career without a college degree, with a little bit of training and $3,000 for the license and setup fees, that you could make that much money.
Entertainer or athlete.
That's it.
I guess that's true. You, as an entertainer, you could do it, right? I make more money with my clothes on than I'll ever make with my clothes off. But real estate is that career path, and so I'm going to say ability. And my marker doesn't work, so that's a bad ability.
Right.
Let's try this one. Okay, so this is my why. What's my motivation? Family. Okay, let's just skip ahead a little bit because this could take all day with you guys. Family. My motivation is to provide for my family. Could my family just be me? Absolutely. But I love my parents. I love my cousins. I love my friends. And so if I'm able to support them, would that cause me to want to go to work every day?
Yes.
Right? Imagine this. Imagine that you're making $45,000 a year. You have, I don't know, $30,000 in student loan debt. After paying all of your bills, you make about $500 a month extra. How motivated would you be to go to work? Do you know anyone that's in that position? I do. I know people all over, clients, friends, family members that are in that position. The reason I go to work every day is because Brandon tells me I have to, right? And because of my family. I get up, I could sit in bed, right, until my wife gets in the room. I could stay out late. I could do all of those things, but my motivation is to go to work to support my family. Okay, does that all make sense? All right, let's get to the point of this. What is the best real estate transaction that you can have?
A closed one.
I'm telling the jokes in here, lady. She said a closed one, that's true. Anybody else want to take a guess? What's the easiest real estate transaction to have?
New build.
I've got to be more specific with this group. Okay.
You buy a house.
Besides a new build, what is the easiest real estate client to have?
We give up.
Cash buyer.
Past. Okay, so past client. Why is a past client the easiest to have?
Very talented.
Well, if they could come back a second time, it's definitely worth it. Who else? What did you say besides past client?
Cash buyer.
Cash buyer, okay. Now let's just say investor.
Referral.
Referral. Thank you. Thank God it's his birthday. I want as many referrals as I can get. What's the benefit of a referral?
Somebody else is providing your name. You're already talking about it.
Okay, so to context of that, if I get a referral, someone else has already made them make the decision, hopefully, to use me or give me the opportunity. Isn't that what buying leads is all about? I'm buying the opportunity to have you get to know me so that you might select me if the opportunity comes up. With a referral, I eliminated all of those pieces. I got this person to give me a transaction. What else might happen? Low competition. Who here right now is extremely ready and excited to go compete for a listing? Hands didn't go up as fast on that question, did it? But the point with a referral is hopefully the only person I'm competing against is myself, right? Because someone else raised their hand and said, this is the person you've got to use. You know what the easiest real estate transaction used to be? A sign lead. You believe that? Someone will call up on a real estate sign and say, hey, I see you're the listing agent. I'm curious about this property. Why do you think that was such an easy call? Because I find out they're looking. They know that I'm an expert in the marketplace because they called off of my sign and they're in front of the house, and if I don't screw it up, I can sell it. And hopefully do both sides, right?
What about a walk-in?
Walk-ins are great too. But why are walk-ins a little bit of trouble? Maybe who gets it, right? If you're not sitting at that desk when they walk in, you don't have complete control. And so the reason I bring this up is I want to control all of my leads. And so what's the easiest way to do that? Oh, he brought up a dirty word, sphere of influence. I'm gonna do this. A POI. Anyone want to take a guess at what that stands for? Pot of influence. Thanks, Janet. Point of interest. Person of interest. If everyone I put into my POI or my SOI was a person of interest, would you feel better about them? It seems for some reason that when agents build an SOI or a center of influence, they feel that everyone has to be their best friend that will give them a deal. Is that really who these people are? So I like the phrase person of interest. I've taken everyone I've ever met, everyone I've ever known, everyone I've interacted with, and they're all people of interest for my real estate business. Does that make you feel better about it? Isn't that weird how you have to feel good about these things? Okay, so let's just do some raw information. Lizette, we'll use you first. Where'd you go to high school?
California.
California, okay. And how many kids were in your graduating class?
About 500.
Ah, 500. Okay. Janet, where'd you go to high school?
Well, I went to part of my high school in Georgia, and the other graduated from high school in Texas.
How many kids were in your graduating class?
Really close to 500.
Wow. I went to a school here in town, went there all 12 years, and my graduating class was 32 people. So I didn't have as many opportunities as the two of you, right? But I'm gonna put Nevada, and I had 32, okay? Scott, when you grew up, what was your first real job? Like the first job that you were like, I filled out an application, this is a real job, I'm gonna work here. What was your first job?
Newspaper delivery.
I would have guessed a million things before that. Newspaper delivery, I love that. And so how many people worked at the newspaper delivery service?
No idea.
Huh?
The newspaper just delivered to his house.
Ballpark it.
As an adult, you mean?
As an adult, yeah. This was your first childhood job?
Yes, he was the first job.
On his bicycle.
Sorry.
Let's see. I've had a million jobs. Parents picture frame store.
Okay, how many people worked there?
4.
4, okay. That's all right. 4 people at that first job. Jason, your first job. Real job, not kid's job.
Worked in a car, worked in a car wash.
Okay. Working at the car wash. How many people work there?
Around like 40.
40, okay, great. Tom, can't wait to hear this. What was your first job? Outside of witness protection.
Legal job, Tom, legal. McDonald's, actually.
And that's why I'm not going there anymore. How many people worked in a McDonald's?
Maybe 100.
100.
Plus kids.
Okay. Ellie, what was your first job?
Real job, selling furniture.
Okay. How many people?
Maybe 30.
30. Okay. So what do these things have in common?
People.
People. But what do I have in common with those people?
They know you.
We have a point of reference.
Dude, it was 50 years ago.
So stop making limitations on your business, Mickey D's. Tom, had a point of reference for every single one of those 100 people because they suffered through it together. Does that make that special?
No cell phones, you know,
It's okay.
whole book's already gone and disintegrated already.
It's okay, it's okay. Here's what people miss about their persons of interest. If I took all 32 people I went to high school with, we shared something in common that gives me an immediate level of trust without establishing any other foundation. Tom, with his group at Mickey D's, has 100 people in some frame of reference that have a level of trust with him because they suffered through that together. Should those people be in your database?
Yes.
I pushed the right button.
Right? The first thing I hear from most new agents is, I'm going to hold some open houses so I can meet some new people because I don't want to talk to any of the people I already know. I don't know why that is, but it happens. How about family? I'm not going to call any of those people, they're broke. How many people in your family? How many people in your family? Just ballpark it. You visit them all over the world.
Wow.
Now you're just being funny. I would say probably, what, 50 people that you actually communicate with, that you talk to? Yeah, okay, she said maybe. Okay. How many people in your immediate family? Patty, how many people in your immediate family?
2.
The older you get.
I don't know that I'm included, right? I'm going to say the average family has probably about 30 people if you really put it together. Husbands, kids, cousins, aunts, uncles, ex-husbands and wives. If you put all those things together, there are a lot of people that interact with your family. And again, that's an immediate point of trust that you have built with these people, okay? Any questions on what I just said here? Who here, by show of hands, has included your high school or college you went to, your first or second or third or fifth or 25th jobs, and your family and your sphere of influence? Okay, honestly, who's included it? Go ahead, raise your hand if you have. Okay, so it looks like 25% of the room. Is that concerning? Why didn't you include these people? Give me some reasons.
I don't know how to get a hold of anybody.
Hey, listen. Okay, he just said something important. I don't know how to get a hold of anybody at the car wash, right? Tom said that was before cell phones. What could help you find those people?
Social media.
Social media. Do you notice that Facebook actually tries to connect you with people that are going to give a crap about the stuff you post?
Right.
Ironic, isn't it? Right? But there are plenty of ways out there to reconnect with people. Why do I want to reconnect? Business. These are all people I can sell things to. And do I sell for things for a living? Are they referrals when they call up?
And just on that point, but don't forget also you can, even though you can't sell them, maybe like I'm from Michigan, so let's say they'll buy here, you can still, they can look for houses in Michigan, you can do a referral at 25%, so, you know.
So if the sales price in Michigan, let's say for sake of conversation, is 20 grand. There's actually places in Michigan that are much higher, but let's say it's 400.
Yes, let's say that.
And it's a $12,000 commission, and I get 25% of that. That's $4,000. Anyone want to make $4,000 for a phone call? You didn't even have to deal with the inspections.
True story regarding social media. Ran into somebody on social media that I knew from elementary school in Pennsylvania. Left the school district in our sophomore year, never saw her again. Saw her on Facebook, hooked up. Oh, I live in Las Vegas. Oh, really? We'll have to get together sometime. And, hey, we're thinking about selling our house and moving to Pahrump. Okay, so anyway, long as it was literally 50 years since we had seen one another, and I got 2 deals of it.
Now, when you saw that person after 50 years, the first thing you say is, so sorry for not seeing you for 50 years?
Wow.
No, because they didn't care, right? But everyone's so, what are we going to talk about? We haven't seen each other for 50 years. I love that story.
Came from a tight-knit community, so it was very easy.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so the average real estate agent has about 60 people in some form of database contact. You guys ever heard of the 10% rule?
Yeah.
It's easy because it's the 10% rule. 10% rule says that if you're working a group of people, even somewhat, you will get 10% of those people, that group of people, in opportunities. What's 10% of 60?
6.
Okay, and let's say, how good are you if I gave you a deal that's so good, only your personality could screw it up? How many do you think you'd get out of 6 pretty easily? 3? Half maybe? Let's say 60%. What's 60% of 6?
3.6.
So let's round it up and say 4. If that's the average database, what are the average real estate agents doing again? 4 deals. Isn't that amazing how that works out? It's not just because I'm teaching the class, it's actually the truth. The average real estate agent has 60 people in their database. They somewhat work them and talk to them every now and then when they feel like it, or they post something on social media. And so that's why you're only doing 4 deals and you're pissed about life. What would I have to do 8 deals?
Talk to more people.
Or grow my database to 120 people?
Or improve your personality.
Or improve your personality. I can't fix everything in a day, but we do have a class for that. Okay, so here's the secret that I've found out. I've coached a lot of agents. I've read a lot of books on real estate. I've paid tens of thousands of dollars to be a better person and a better agent and a better scripted person. And here's what I found out. If you're going to start in a business, you need to get 100 people. 100 people. I don't care where they come from. And when you start to give me all the BS of why you don't have anybody, go back to all of those things we started on. The first job, your high school, your elementary school. I sold a house to someone I went to first grade with. They didn't buy it in first grade. No one's funny there. But the point is, years later, 20 years later, I sold them a house. How do I get to 100?
Talk.
Talk. By any means possible. How long would it take you to get to 100 if you really worked at it?
Probably a week at work.
Maybe a week. So I hear maybe a week. This is a go-getter right here, folks. Some of you would need a vacation in the middle of this, right? But the whole point is, Facebook is a very easy way. All of those daytimers and Blackberries and address books and things that you have somewhere, those would be a way to do it. But if I have 100, 10% rule says again, that's 10 ops. And if I have 60%, that's 6 transactions. Did I just increase your business by 50%? You'd have to pay me a lot of money for that, right? How many people want to do 6 deals a year? Is that enough? Is that enough for your yacht? And more like a dinghy, right? Okay, so here's the other secret. Every real estate agent I know at 400 people is generating their 40 opportunities, and they're closing around 20 deals a year. Every single person I know with that. Anyone here have 400 people in their database? Okay, are you guys closing at least 20 deals a year? Everyone that raised their hand I see is, right? And so what would you do with these 400 people once you get them? Give me some examples of what you do. Threaten. Don't want to be one of her 400. Jason?
Set up a drip campaign.
What kind of drip? Drip. What's in a drip?
Constant messages.
Don't say drops. That's not funny. Okay, so a drip campaign is info, right? Info, birthdays, holidays, reminders. I have to send you a reminder or 4th of July wouldn't happen, right? But the whole point is they're interaction points where they see me and they see real estate. Is that important? Am I confirming that I'm still here and I still sell things? Market's still hot, market's not, doesn't matter, I still sell them all, right? What else? Jason?
Gifts.
Gifts. He's really doing nice things. Gifts. What kind of gifts?
Something
Gold watches.
I'll shout out for Shelley. That Shelley's doing something amazing. She's renting out an entire movie theater and bringing all of her past customers to watch a family movie. That's
Wow.
incredible.
It is really cool. You know, we did that one time. We did that one time. We rented out a movie theater as a client appreciation thing. We went to this movie called The Family with Robert De Niro. Wrong movie. These are gifts of care, right? Is it important to show your clients you care? I had a lady that we worked with named Carol LaFerrier. Remember Carol LaFerrier? And she's still a very successful agent who works Sun City. And every year, Carol would throw a massive party where she'd invite every past client to come to that party, and it'd be all about them. I mean, there weren't posters of her and how great her listings were and things like that, but she just brought people together and broke bread with them. And every time she had that party of about 200, 250 people, she would do 10 or 12 deals just from the party. Makes sense then, right? You'd throw wild parties if you could get 12 deals. What else would you do with these people?
Call them.
Oh my God, we got 3 down before someone wanted to pick up a cell phone. Call them. Well, but what am I going to talk about? Just say, hi, it's Chris. Click. Right? What will we talk about? Okay, so I love that you started with them. Hey, it's Chris. How are you? These are all good things to find out. But what are we going to talk about?
Market.
The market. Real estate. Wealth. We have a sales meeting every week where we come and talk about what?
The
Market.
Market, real estate, wealth. Right? Could you take what you hear in the sales meeting and talk to your clients about it? That'd be an idea. Hey, this lady handed out a list of properties at our sales meeting. These might be great to buy. Right? Could you talk about that? Roya, could they talk about that? How often would you call them? Oh, at least once a year. Once a month. Okay. Every 30 days. Someone's actually leaving the room. I just saw it. Okay, no, I'm not yet. That's good. What are we going to talk about every 30 days? Does the market stay the same every 30 days? It changes, you mean? You mean last month we weren't talking about things that we're talking about this month? No. Chris is talking about calling people. That's never happened. What else can I do?
Go to lunch, dinners, drinks.
I apologize for my handwriting. Belly to belly.
Or face to face.
You're all sick. If I get face to face with you and we have an interaction and we talk, did I reaffirm what I do and what you need and who you are? Absolutely, right? So if I'm doing all of these things and no one mentioned mail campaigns or sending something to their house or updating their property values or asking them if they had referrals or knew other people or find out who they know out of state or everything else, my 100 built my 400. How? Because I called all the 100 and I said, do you know one person? They said, yeah, even I have one friend. And I said, great, will you connect me with them? They said, sure. And so I went from 100 to 200. And I worked a little bit harder and I met some more people. And then I called them all again. I said, hey, I've got a goal to grow my database. Can you send me one more person? They said, sure, yeah, we'll find somebody. And then they grew to my 400, probably a little bit more, like 500. And some of these people were deadbeats that never gave me a deal, so I kicked them out of my database. But the whole point was I grew because I was interacting. Now, what's great about having 20 deals?
More money.
I'm making a pretty substantial income, right? I mean, 20 deals right now at, let's say, $12,000 a deal is how much? $240,000 a year. That's pretty good income, right? You'd feel better about life. So, is this reliant on the market? People have to buy and sell, and I have a group of 400. Will they have life occurrences?
Yes.
Someone died, someone got married, someone was born, someone job transferred, someone made money, someone got a promotion at work, right? All these things happen. How about people wanting to build wealth and buy more properties, right? And so if I have that 400, did Zillow give that to me? Must have been Redfin. Brandon did it. Brandon, you get that all 400, right? That's how I got them. This 400 had nothing to do with anybody but me. And so who controls it? Me, right? And so if you had this group of people that you're working all of these different ways, is that a full-time job? Yeah. Sound pretty good? All right, well, how many of you are going to do this? Okay. Still haven't convinced you, huh? Okay. All right, so let's say I have my persons of interest up here at the top, and that's important, and we're going to get you to your 400. And let's be honest, if it's already 6 months out of the year, and you don't have your 400, what should you be doing? No one's going to do it for you, right? I mean, I have not found a real estate service yet that for less than $100,000 is going to do it for me, right? What else do I need? A team. I need legs of business. So, I need something to hunt. Hunting. You put hunting? What's hunting in real estate? I went to private school. Okay, it's aggressive prospecting, like what? Door knocking?
Open houses.
High impact open house. Calling. Hunting takes aggressive action. If I'm going to go out and kill a boar, aw, poor little boar, I have to go out and be aggressive about it, right? I have to get out there and make it happen. And so door knocking is the best form of aggressive prospecting. Why? It's 105 outside. If you're door knocking people right now, that's aggressive prospecting, right? Take some water with you. Get a sponsor, right? What are we going to say? It's belly to belly, right? I literally have them trapped in the house and they can't leave until they sell, right? High impact open house. What do I mean by high impact? I'm door knocking, I'm cold calling around, and I'm doing work to make it more impactful, because People aren't just gonna show up every time, right? You ever been to an open house that you worked to put together and no one showed up? That's a sad real estate agent.
My first one.
Your first one?
No one ever came in that building.
If no one ever showed up, how'd you double end it?
A neighbor, I closed it, a neighbor came by, and then he was like, I was like, please come in, nobody came to open house, that's my first one.
That's great. Mike?
And then he asked me to list the house like the next day, and I said, no, I'm busy, I go Monday, because I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah.
That's great. My first open house was in Sun City, Aliante. I bought a case of water and a cooler of ice, right? A bunch of sandwiches that I put out, cookies. The house was, every light in the house was on, just like the song. All the windows were open, all the doors were unlocked. It was beautiful. And I sat there for 4 hours, not one person showed up. There were 98 listings in the community. This was like 2006, 7, somewhere in there. The only place I saw people was on the golf course. What do you think I did with my cooler? I rolled that sucker out to the green and I was handing out waters to the golfers. I had nothing else to do, there was nobody through, but a lot of people will sit in an empty open house and just let that be it. Well, I'm not gonna do that again, right? The second option is farming. What's farming? Passive marketing. Give me an example of farming.
Social flyers.
Social media, I love that you said that. Flyers, someone said. What else?
Postcards.
Postcards, yes. Put a stamp on it.
Handwritten cards.
Handwritten cards, absolutely.
Non-belly to belly.
Non-belly to belly. They don't know you, you don't know them, but when you get something in the mail, you feel better about each other, right? This is the Ed McMahon approach. Remember when you get that publisher clearinghouse thing and we're going to win $10 million because one person did, it can't be us. But the whole point is that farming is residual income. Databases, your SOI, is your farm that you're getting belly to belly with. It's a high impact farm, right? These farms are different. If I farm a neighborhood, let's say Roy has, you have how many listings on that list?
6.
Okay, is there anything stopping you from farming all 6 of those listings?
Is there anything stopping you?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
just time, money, and energy, right?
Yeah.
But are there sales in every one of those communities every year?
1,000.
1,000%, she said. So why don't agents farm the listings they sell? Well, I had to pay my mortgage, I had to pay my power bill, I had to give my kids some money, my wife took the rest. Right? So are they running their business like a business? Have you ever worked with a real estate agent in a transaction? You know, the only reason that they were pushing to close the deal is they had a car payment due. Right? I've been there. I've had that agent that I've worked with. I've been that agent. We gotta get this thing closed. May not be there to pick up the check. But the whole point is that if you start farming, you can actually use statistical analysis to work into a community to guarantee yourself transactions every single year. Right? Just like we talked about your database. What's the last one? What do we call him? Bob. I like Bob better. We're going to name it Business on Business. Yeah. Because bad just doesn't sound right. But business around business or business on business. Who here is taking a listing that they're really proud of? Thank God you guys showed up. What do you do with the listing once you take it? I sell it. What do you do? What else do you do with it? Market it, right? And who's that marketing about? It's about the house. Have you guys ever opened a Homes Illustrated? Isn't that like the who's who of real estate? I've got my big hair and I'm happy to be here. Right? Do you remember those photos, Janet? Remember the photos when you'd walk into real estate offices and they'd be plastered, they'd be glamour photos with shoulder pads and all. Right? We've got to get away about marketing ourselves and start marketing the stuff we sell. Because no one at the end of the day cares about you or how many sales you did. They care about how much money you made for your clients. I don't care what you put on a photo, I'm never going to look that good. But the properties I list and sell will look great, right? And so this whole point is every listing I take is the opportunity to get 2 more buyers and 2 more sellers. If I'm not doing that, am I succeeding? Sure, I'm listing houses and selling them, but am I making as much money as I could? Give me examples about this. What would you do with a listing if you got one to make yourself some more properties? Circle prospect, right? He said just listed cards. Did you say calls?
Cards is called to.
Open houses.
Florida.
He said sign. Signs do work, but no one puts them up because they're not on that long, right? So what is happening in the market right now?
It's slowing down.
They're slowing down in time of sale. So, get this, you may have 30 days of this listing being on the market. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Do you realize that pretty much 30% of the agents that are out there have never experienced that? They don't know what it is to have a listing that doesn't sell right away, right? And so, does this sound like a lot of work? Oh my God, that's like a full-time job, right? Anyone here sent just listed cards out on their listing? What happens?
You get it.
Nothing. She's like, nothing. I don't know. Why does nothing happen? Because this is really important.
You only send one.
Because you usually only send one. Here's what I see done wrong. An agent gets so excited, they go on to Corfax or whatever system, and they put together this beautiful real estate card, right? They're like, this is gorgeous. This is going to sell this house, right? Funny enough, they don't put themselves on the mailing list, and they don't put their client on the mailing list, so no one really knows what happened to the cards. They could have never gone out. Uh-oh. There's some back room at the post office full of your cards, right? What else am I hoping for on that card? I'm hoping that someone's going to call, right? Are you answering your phone? Yeah, you hope so. But what is it that's going to attract me to look at your card and say, oh my God, I got to call them? What do usually these cards say? Just listed listing, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, gorgeous inside. How do you stop the car? This is what our business has come down to. What are you enticing me to call you on? You wouldn't call you, right? So what does it really take? If you sent one card to 1,000 people, do you know the open rate of that?
Less than 1%.
It's actually 4%, believe it or not.
They're already.
He said they're already open. This is not the trick question you're looking for. What's 4% of 1,000?
That's 40.
40, okay. So you sent out 1,000 cards and you got 40 people that are actually paying attention to the card. Are those good numbers? No, and that's why no one called you, right? But let me ask you this. If I sent one card to 100 people, what's the open rate of 4% on 100? 4, okay. And 4% of 100, 4 people, that's impactful. What if I send it to the same 100 people? Uh-oh. And I send it 10 times. That's 40 of 100. Is that better numbers? By saturating a smaller group of people, I'm more likely to be seen and called because I got those 40 people to see, oh my God, if this guy sends me one more card. I've actually had that lady who lives in the community who called me up and said, please stop sending me these cards. I just bought my house. Oh yeah, who's your realtor? I don't know, I haven't seen them since. But I just don't want you wasting any more of your money. Would you rather have that call? Why? Wow. She literally cares, right? By saturating that group of people, you've actually created a market share around your listing. You're getting people to pay attention to you. And did it cost the same amount as that one card? Right? Do you see how that's more effective? Now, who here wants to write checks? That's what I thought. Okay, so what can I do next? Calls. Have you ever got a calling list for your listing? Okay, what do you do with a great calling list?
Use it.
You use it and then you lose it, right? That's what most agents do, is they get a great calling list for their listing, they call it a little bit, they get a few people that answer, and all these numbers are crap, I'm never calling them again. And then they take that list and they what? They throw it away. Is that what you're supposed to do with it? What if you called them 10 times? What if over the course of your listing, you called the 100 people on that list 10 times? What would happen? Well, once I got out of jail, what would happen? Anybody done it?
People will remember you.
People would absolutely remember you. For what?
For being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for being a pain in the ass. I don't want a regular agent, I want a pain in the ass when I sell my house.
No, but they see you working it, so they can go to sell their house and they're gonna call you, they're not gonna call.
Yes, okay. So let's make this really simple. I've got to sign up so people know that the house is for sale. I've got it on Zillow and all those other important places. It looks really good because the pictures are nice. The description came from Shakespeare, okay? And now I'm going to send out my 1,000 cards to the 100 people that live in the community. And so they're going to be getting bombarded with
3 or 4 just listed cards, maybe 1 or 2 price reductions, 2 or 3 under contract cards, and a few just sold. Okay, does that sound easy enough? Now, when I send out those cards, I'm actually going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call my 100. Hey, it's Chris. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, my listing's still in the market, but I'm just checking in to see, do you know of anyone who wants to move into your community? Now's the perfect time to pick your neighbor. Can't pick your nose, but you can pick your neighbor, right? Don't pick your neighbor's nose. I think of George Carlin right now. Okay, and then let's say that I hold an open house. What if I held a VIP open house just for the community and I sent the card to invite them? Right? Is that a party for a group of people? Yeah. Could be. But now they're seeing my cards and they got my call and they're seeing my open house signs that go with my listing sign. And so I'm really saturating. They're like, wow, Chris is really working hard. Am I? And then, you know what? It's not that hot. Yesterday it was only 83 outside. I mean, that's pretty enjoyable in Las Vegas. And so I decided to take this opportunity and I knock on the door. Hi, it's Chris. You may remember me from my postcard. I'm here to see how you're doing. Are you looking to sell your house? Have you thought about it? Do you know how much the home's worth? I'd love to come back by when I come door knocking next week. Do you know of anyone who would like to check out the listing? If I did all of those things, can anyone here actually look me in the eye and say that you wouldn't create more business? What would you create for sure? What'd you say? Attention. I'd create attention, but what would I create for sure?
Contacts.
Contacts. Okay, so I want my 400 to go to 600, and if I did all of this, could I really increase my database on every single listing I take? Tell me where I'm wrong. I want someone in the audience who's pissed off to be here today to tell me where this doesn't make money. I dare you. Anyone disagree? Anyone just hearing this for the first time? So why don't we do this?
I think in a lot of cases,
It's a lot of things on a page, that's why.
I started and have, well, for myself, I started, have a good intention, but that's the follow through. And that's
What's the saying? The path to hell is paved with good intentions,
yeah,
right? Is this a lot of work?
Yes.
Is it a lot of organization? It's consistent work, right? And so is it really that hard? Is it complicated? I would say it's very simple, right? I simply wrote this out in 40 minutes. It's not very easy to do, right? How would you make this easier for yourself?
Create a routine.
Create a routine. Thank you for being here. I love that one. Say again. After 30 days of a good routine, it becomes a habit for sure. But what is it going to take to get you to want to do this? I'd have Beta click back through the slides if I had that opportunity. When we started this, you guys gave me all of these reasons why.
I see that.
Right? You gave me all the reasons why you're going to get up and go sell things. You gave me all the reasons why it's impactful to you, and then you gave me what? On this side. Give me your motivation. So let me ask you, does your spouse or significant other or your kids know what you're doing here every day? She brings hers along, and so does she. Very productive, I see that they are. But the whole point of it is, if I help them understand what it is I have to do, and I understood the plan myself because I have one, could I be more productive and effective in my business? Is there any way that this doesn't create 5 to 6 transactions for you this year if you do it? Now give me some questions. Chris, I don't understand this. Chris, explain this to me. I better get to at least 2 questions or you're never leaving here. Yes?
I literally just started that 12-month postcard program with Corpac.
Uh-huh.
So, first one came and it's me introducing myself. I
Sure.
said, ooh, when you're in Texas, this hot realtor sent a postcard. I'm like, really? What? And it was me. I didn't realize. But there's 356 people that I chose in that farm. Is that too many or is that okay?
Do you feel it's too many?
Like 400. No.
Okay. Are you going to stick with the 12 months?
I am.
What happens after 12 months?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's okay. So if 300 is sustainable and doable, and 12 months go by, what is your idea of success in that 12 months?
Again, no idea.
So if you listed one house, would that be success?
Well, it would pay for itself.
So you'd feel good about it. I mean, it wouldn't have
Well,
cost you
I
anything.
would love to have like 6 out of it. Am I wasting my money or I just want a professional opinion.
So let's think about it this way. I'm Chris, I work in your subscription department. And this year we've sent out 12 postcards to the 336 people that you ordered. And you got one listing out of it that you sold. You didn't do any of these activities because you were too busy for them. So we'll forget about that. And you got that one listing and you sold it right away because it was still a great listing and a great market. And you made $14,000. And the total cost for all the postcards, the 300 that you had, was cost about $350 a month.
It's like 4,800 for the year.
Okay, and so that cost you about $4,500. And so you netted $9,800. Would you like to renew?
Well, I guess, yeah, I would. However, I would need to do all these other things.
Maybe you didn't do them this time, but you still made $9,800.
Yeah.
So is that a net profit?
Yes.
Are you okay with net profits?
Of course.
Sign here 3 copies, right? You're selling yourself on the fact that you made $9,800 by doing these mailers for 12 months. Now, did you just do it to make $9,800?
No.
Okay, so what could you do? Follow up. So doing these activities would be great follow up in the community, right? This would magnify your presence without costing you any extra money. But what else could you do? If you made $9,800, got one listing from one card a month, what could you do with the $9,800?
Reinvest it?
Send 2 cards a month, right? Because this is really just science.
To the same people? 2 cards a month?
Yeah, you're going to saturate them,
Okay.
right? Speed it up. I mean, I only get my mail every other time. My wife gets it the time there, so you got her that time, not me. But I got it the next time. And I only saw your cards 5 times. But I don't make the decisions in the household, so you're screwed, right? But my wife got it the other 5 or 6 times, and she's decided that she's selling the house. And she's like, we're going to call some real estate agents. I think we should call the agent that's been marketing the community. Oh, but aren't we going to call our cousin? Well, they haven't been marketing the community. You've met them. Right? That's how people make that decision. You ever called somebody you got off a card that was stuck on your door because you needed a landscaper or a car wash person or ADT? You have. Everyone's done it. That's why they send it. So the whole thing is, if you put these things with that card, you're increasing your magnitude of your investment's return. But at the end of the day, I showed you that you made $9,800. So you could either make another $9,800 by doing it, or reinvest or double down or whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to probably say that 1 card a month to a community isn't enough.
Okay.
Especially with 300 people, it should be at least 2 minimum. At least 2 minimum, but maybe 3. The only thing is, you sit there in front of that computer and wonder what the hell you're going to do on 2 and 3, right? Because market update's really easy. I just put on the stats, I stick it on there, and you feel good about it, and it goes away. What else would you do?
I have received these cards from, I'm renting, so I'm getting this girl.
Yep.
She's from California,
Uh-huh.
and whoever lives
She markets other markets.
I told her, she's like, I'm a renter, this Sharon Smith don't live anymore, I guess she bought or something, and she's very friendly, but she sends all these different things, like, make a resolution to declare and organize these 5 rooms. Landscaping a new home, turn it down, turn on the water, and then she gives you. So I would still get this,
Yep.
and I told her,
I'm going to guarantee you right now she's not writing all of those great things.
oh, no.
She's got a system that's doing it for her, but the point is they've got a plan and marketing.
Every month since I live there.
That's consistent marketing. That person deserves to make money, right? I'm going to give you a great example to end with on your point. I've got a cousin who lives in Seattle. She built her entire business from social media. And she insulates her business by everything else, right? She has a 30-day in advance marketing plan for every piece of information that goes out in her business. She builds it this month for next month, and it's completely automated by the time next month hits. And this month, she's working on the following month. When that month hits, she works on the following month. And her entire business is automated, right? Because she knows what cards are going out and what they're going to talk about. And so she makes all of her videos talk about the same thing so that they're magnifying the effects of everything that go out. That's effective business.
Is she coming up with her own dialogue?
Yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, I could literally sit and Google great things to send somebody that lives in a house, right? I could spit out 100 examples. What's in a community with you? You live in a community, there's all these other people. What surrounds the people? Businesses. What do businesses want?
More business.
More business, right? They want me! So if I'm marketing the community and I go to the pizza shop down on the corner and I say, hey, listen,
I gotta send out a mailer and I don't really know what to send it about. And I hear you have great pizza. Could I put something about your pizza shop and how you founded it and why it's here? Oh yeah, and by the way, I'll pay for it. I just want to put my face on it with my information. Would that be okay? And by the way, would you offer a small discount, like maybe a free Coke with the slice? Yeah. Would that be saturation of information? And who did it come from? The market expert, right? Here's what not to do. Do not send out postcards to the neighborhood claiming to be the expert of the neighborhood and not know anything about the neighborhood, right? I actually got a phone call from a gentleman. I actually got a call from his wife first. She goes, "Are you the market expert?" And I said, "Why, yes, ma'am, I am." "Well, you're not going to get one listing in here." I said, "How do you know?" She goes, "Well, we have it locked up. My husband's a real estate agent and we live here." I said, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Do you even know the median price?" And I said, "Yeah, it's like $525. "Well, do you even know how many homes are in the community?" I said, "Yeah, 64. "Well, have you even sold anything in here?" I said, "Well, yeah, I sold 3 out of the last 8. "Well, fine. Okay, well, I want you to talk to my husband." And so I know her husband. He's a longtime real estate agent, and he's like laughing in the background. And he gets on the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, Troy, how you doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." I said, "What'd you think of my postcards?" He's like, "Yeah, they're really, really nice, but we've been marketing this community for years. You'll never get a listing." Okay. He got 10 just listed cards, and everyone else got 1. Okay, because that's how I roll. Next week, this is a week after this happens. This is absolutely true story. A week after this phone call happens, I get a phone call from a gentleman that I've never met. I've never door knocked his house. All I've been doing is sending my regular 2 cards a month. And I've had some interaction in the community, but I have had some past sales. By the way, this is 8 sales over 10 years in this community. And I've had 3. So I have a pretty good market share, but no one knows it but me, right? This guy calls me up and he says, "Are you the market expert?" And I said, "Oh, must be the grandfather. Here we go," right? And I said, "Why, yes, sir, I am." And he goes, "Well, my home's been on the market for 1.5 years and it just hasn't sold." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." He goes, "Well, I'd like your aggression and your marketing. I'd like you to come over and list my house." And I said, "Well, thank you. I've never met the guy and he likes my aggression and my marketing, right?" I said, "Well, why don't you come to my office and meet me and I'll sign the paperwork with you and we'll get your home listed." He goes, "Fantastic." And we set up the appointment. And he goes, "Before I get off the phone, how much do you charge?" And I said, "I charge 7%. He goes, "Oh my God, that's way more than the other agent." I said, "Yeah, but it doesn't take me 1.5 years. He asked. And so he shows up to the office, sits down in my conference room, and guess what he did? We didn't have any more conversations about me or my company or my process or my marketing or my history. He sat down and signed the contract. And so 64 homes, I was sending 2 mailers a month, $120, or 120 mailers at $1, whatever it is, $120. I just made $24,000. What do you think I did the next year? I quit real estate. But that's the whole point. That's what happened. Janet?
I'd like to just add one more thing that you left out. Because I call a lot of you, you forgot to pay your MLS fees, you forgot to pay your key fees, or whatever, I call you. And you'd be amazed how many times I get the generic message that comes with your phone. The phone number you have reached 702. So if people are going to call you, and for this system to work, you need to have a personalized voicemail if you don't answer your phone. Because if I were calling a realtor about my house and I got the generic voice from AT&T that says the number you were calling, I'm calling somebody else. So be professional and put in a personal voicemail on your phone.
Let's take that one step further and show how effective you could be. If you're really investing in this marketing strategy, because that's what you're doing, and you went out and bought a cell phone and a cell phone plan just for your farming, right, your geographic farming, and you had that number on all of your cards, every time that phone rings, would you know what it's about?
Yes.
Right? It's either a telemarketer or someone calling from my farm. Either way, I'm still the expert, right? But that's the point. You can get as specific as you want because that makes financial sense because you're making enough money to pay for that, right? So I think that's a great idea and it solidifies you that you're that expert in that marketplace. Last thing I'll leave you with. This is years of failure. This is years of classes, this is years of information, this is years of watching people do it. This is years of coaching agents. Every single person I have on this has succeeded at a high level. The biggest problem is no one told them about it, no one helped them through it, no one told them why not to do things. And so on every part of my business, I've had a real estate coach. I've had someone who thumped me in the head and said, "That's a dumb idea, why don't you try it this way?" Or "Why don't you think about it before you spend the money?" Right?
If you guys want to get specific on this, there's a number of us that coach on the same level of this type of plan. All you have to do is reach out. We'd love to help you do it. We'd love to help you implement it into your business or your team member's business. All you have to do is ask. Make sense? Good stuff? Is this helpful? Okay. And everybody text Dave and let him know the best legal update you've been to lately. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Appreciate you.